Our focus to the other big story that we're tracking. Bollywood actor Richa Chadha has sparked a massive row by mocking the Galwan martyrs. After armies taking back POK dare, the actress responded in a tweet saying, "Galwan says hi." Richa Chadha has been accused of insulting the armed forces in her latest tweet. Northern Army Commander Lieutenant General Upendra Dwivedi has said that the Indian Army is ready to execute orders like taking back the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, to which the actor responded sarcastically on Twitter. Now, the Galwan Valley clash was the deadliest confrontation between India and China that we'd witnessed in over 4 decades. It led to the death of 20 bravehearts from India. So the larger question that is being raised is, why do you want to politicize the armed forces? Why do you want to insult the martyrs? As we said, India in that Galwan clash had lost 20 of our brave soldiers. A lot of political reactions now coming in. The actress has also now made her profile private. Advocate Vineet Jindal has now filed a complaint against actor Richa Chadha. Richa Chadha apologizes after complaint is what we are understanding. But the question is, it's coming too late in the day. You didn't have to put out a tweet like this. You didn't have to politicize the armed forces. You didn't have to insult the martyrs of the Galwan clash. So we're understanding a complaint has been filed against the actor from Advocate Vineet Jindal. What we're also understanding is that post this complaint and all the reactions that have been coming in on social media, Richa Chadha, the actor, in fact, has now apologized after this complaint. So I'll just give you a sequence of events. She put out the tweet, says Galwan says hi. After that, there was a lot of backlash on social media. She made her replies private, and she made her profile private as well. I have my colleague Akash who's joining us on the broadcast. Akash, first talk to us about the complaint that is being filed, and I believe an apology is also now coming from the actor.
Yes, hours after facing this backlash, actor has basically apologized, and she is saying that this was not her intention. And if I can, read out some of the lines, even though it can never be my intention in the last, if the 3 words which are being dragged into a controversy have offended or hurt anyone, I apologize, and also say that it would sadden me if unintentionally my words have triggered this feeling in my brothers, in the forge of which my own Nanaji has been an illustrated part. So she is basically trying to say that this was not her intention. And Ridhima, this is very important and crucial at a time when we have actually the escalated conditions at the actual line of control, and in the backdrop of what has happened in year 2020, the violent clash that you were talking about. In fact, also this is coming at a time when Raksha Mantri, on the very occasion of Infantry Day, mentioned that how our journey is not yet completed, and how we are all set to take our part that is occupied by Pakistan. Also, as far as the Lieutenant General Upendra Dwivedi's comment is concerned, so he was basically ascertaining what Raksha Mantri was saying, and he was somewhere trying to show that how Indian Army is all set already. At the very same time, we got this particular comment by Richa Chadha where she mentioned 3 words, and there were allegations. In fact, she was accused of disrespecting Indian Army and Indian Jawans. And Manajinder Singh Sinsa and a number of leaders from BJP came out in public and said that a case should be registered against the actress. Now we are learning that she has actually apologized, but also this a complaint has been filed against Richa Chadha, and Advocate Vineet Jindal has basically filed this complaint.
True.
Where this tweet has been mentioned. And also on social media, I want to mention this very fact. On social media, we have 2 segments, 2 aspects, where on one side we have users who are saying that Richa Chadha is not wrong because this is freedom of expression, but they are also maintaining that there is a thin line beyond which you can't go, and in case you are going, you need to explain yourself. You need to explain as to what is your intention.
No, but Akash, freedom of expression is okay, that's your right as far as the democracy is concerned, but at what cost? There are certain issues that do not have 2 sides of a story. When she apologizes and she writes in that apology that this is an emotive issue for me, then all the more she should understand the kind of sacrifice that the martyrs have made for us. The soldiers continue to do it on a day-to-day basis, and what their families go through as well. Why would you want to politicize the armed forces is the larger question.
Exactly, Ridhima. This is what I'm trying to make. That when you talk about freedom of expression, there is a thin line beyond which you can't go. And in case you are going, you need to explain it. And this is what users are demanding. So those who are supporting Richa Chadha are in fact saying that you need to explain as to what were your intentions and what you were actually trying to say. On the other hand, we have these people who are saying that she is somewhere disrespecting Indian Army, Indian Jawans, and given the fact that we have lost several lives in the violent clash in the Galwan Valley and the escalated conditions after the particular incident at the actual line of control. So this was somewhere not accepted by a chunk of users, and in fact this is the reason why a complaint has been filed, and in fact BJP was demanding apology. Now she has apologized. Now we'll wait and watch as to how things will pan out from now onwards.
But before we talk about the controversy that is now erupted, which we are seeing an apology as well, give us a better context of what exactly the point that was being made by Lieutenant General Upendra Dwivedi.
Right. So, Ridhima, coming to the point, so on the occasion of Infantry Day, Rajnath Singh mentioned about the resolution that was passed by the Indian Parliament in 1994. He was talking about the region that is Pakistan occupied Kashmir, that is our own region. And he was somewhere stressing on the fact that that is our own region and we'll be taking it back. The journey is not yet completed. This is what he mentioned, and he said that we'll be taking it back. On the same line, now Lieutenant General Upendra Dwivedi was maintaining this very point that Indian Army is all set and is somewhere waiting for the orders. They can execute any sort of order as far as their own territory and their own region is concerned. And this is what Lieutenant General was mentioning and maintaining at the same time. Now, the very content was quoted by actress Richa Chadha, and she, at one point you have Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and you are talking about the borders, the western borders, I should say, and the borders that we share with Pakistan. On the other hand, the actress is talking about the Galwan Valley, which is close to the actual line of control, and the border, which is the China border, India-China border. So these were two different things. However, many people, many people thought that she is trying to basically mock Indian Army and Indian Jawans, and that's the reason why we have this sort of controversy erupted now. And also, it is the time when BJP leaders were demanding, in fact, the apology and were demanding an action against the actress.
The larger question also being raised at this point, Akash, is specifically when Richa Chadha says that, her family members have served in the Indian Army. She's written about her grandfather who in fact took a bullet injury as well. You would expect a sense of sensitivity considering the fact that you've lived that life. The other larger question that is being raised is, should actors even indulge themselves in issues like these?
Exactly, and Ridhima, you see, many people are accusing that Richa Chadha's movie is coming, and that's the reason why, this is a publicity stunt. Many people are accusing, many social media users are in fact saying like that. And also, while talking about her supporters, in fact, they are asking this very larger question as to what were your intentions. Also, when you yourself are understanding the fact that this is, this is a sensitive issue, and whenever we talk about border areas, whenever we talk about the actual line of control, and especially when you are talking about Galwan clash, the happening, that was in year 2020, where we lost several lives, where the Jawans of Indian Army, gave their ultimate sacrifice. So at a time, this was a larger question, of course, and even after this apology, leaders are now demanding an action because they are saying that this is not accepted at all. This cannot be accepted at all. And, being an actress, being a public figure, you cannot go beyond certain lines. This is what they are saying. And, as you rightly mentioned in the starting, freedom of expression is one thing, but there are certain topics, there are certain sensitive topics, and while talking about those topics, you cannot go beyond a thin line. And also, while you are doing so, you need to explain. And this is what is expected out of Richa Chadha now.
But because this controversy has now become political nature, while the BJP, of course, was demanding an apology, that apology has come. We'll have to see how the BJP reacts to that apology. Some of the reactions that are coming in from the opposition parties, they're actually saying what Richa Chadha has said is nothing wrong because tensions still continue to simmer as far as the line of actual control is concerned.
Ridhima, there are two things. One thing is that you are basically raising questions on the government and their plans. And the other thing is that you are raising questions on Indian Army and our Jawans. So whenever it is about government, you can ask multiple questions. You can ask a number of questions. But when it is about Indian Army and Indian Jawans, so we know the kind of struggle they face. We know the kind of conditions they are living in just to secure our territory,